There's just a few last things that we'll go through real quick. Down here, we've got these advanced channel navigation and advanced mix bay navigation keys. And in order to engage these, back up here in preferences, we've in configuration, or I'm sorry, in user, we would actually have to be selected on advanced. If you went to normal front of house, those buttons would not be accessible, but if you're in advanced, these buttons would be accessible. And what these buttons do is just about exactly what they say. If this is engaged, flip to faders with output select. If I know that, let's say, this aux 1 that I have up here, I know what mix that is. If I were to engage it and select it, then I would see that now these faders are a representation of that contribution to that particular send. And if I were to disengage it, we notice that these switch back to what would be the contribution to my main mix bus. So when you engage fader flip, it is just like with a lot of the other digital consoles. Effects access with output select. So if that is engaged, I know that this matrix 1 is tied to an effect. So if I were to select that matrix, then it actually will bring up the particular effect that is assigned with that output, so you can see those parameters at the same time. Kind of a cool function. Then over here, advanced mix bay navigation, graphic EQ with output select. So if I were to, I know I've got a graphic EQ on my left and right bus. If I were to select that now, I can see that, see if I can get a better shot for you here, that we've got, barely see it on a few of them there, that these are the indications of the graphic EQ. And now those faders on the VCAs in the middle will apply to a graphic EQ that is inserted on any output. So if it's assigned to an aux or a master, in this case I selected my left bus, and now we'll notice when I deselect it, those go away and the VCAs are back to being VCAs. The last thing that Midas has added here in this advanced control is this MCA. And this is probably one of the coolest functions I've seen on a console in a really long time. If this is engaged, now what this has effectively done is this has allowed the front of house and or the monitor engineer to use the VCAs as a contribution to an aux send. So we know right now I don't have any auxes selected in fader flip. We are mixing front of house. So let's say I've got all of my VCAs. I'm mixing my way along, and instead of me needing to go to all the individual background vocalists, if somebody wants the background vocalists as a whole, and let's say it's whoever's here on aux 14. If I hit aux 14, we're going to notice that now this says that it says lead bass, lead guitar. Lead is the mix that I just selected. So now all of these VCAs will be a contribution to that particular mix. So if I didn't want to have to go and mix all of those background vocals, I know this VCA is my background vocals, I can push those background vocals up to that mix. And then if I deselect the aux, we'll notice that the faders come right back to front of house mode, and now I'm mixing back to left and right. I think that's pretty stinking awesome that they've given us the ability to use the VCAs as a contribution to the auxes. Opens up a whole new realm of mixing monitors, so you can make some subgroups of things here. If you're using your left and right bus to maybe make a drummer's mix and you're using those VCAs to go to the drummer's mix, then we can also use those VCAs as a contribution to any monitor send on the console, which I think is pretty hot rod. So all in, I think Midas has done a very, very excellent job with just about everything on the console. There's not a whole lot that I can see or that I can think of that they've forgotten to do with it. And you know, if you feel that they've forgotten something to do with it, go ahead and give them guys a call, and they will gladly take your input, and you know, maybe you'll see one of your ideas on another one of the revisions. So for L2P and SPL, this is James reviewing a Midas Pro2C, and on that, I am out.